Hi, in today's video I'm going to show you how to run shell scripts on Windows using cygwin instead of using the Windows subsystem for Linux. And the reason you might want to do this is because you can't get the Windows subsystem for Linux installed, or you just don't want to use it. And what I'm going to be doing is actually installing my ffmpeg scripts, which will allow you to do things like scene detection, so you can analyze a video and chop it up into scenes automatically, trim video clips, have videoscopes, extract frames, create gifs and webp images, and lots of other good stuff. And the reason that I'm going to be doing this is because I'm running Windows 11 here in a virtual machine on NixOS, and I couldn't get the Windows subsystem for Linux to actually work and install, even though I've done it previously on the same hardware. So what I'm going to do is actually take you through the steps of getting cygwin installed with chocolatey, ffmpeg, MPV, setting up MPV so it's always on top, and finally we're going to be running shell scripts to actually process video on the command line. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to actually come across and install chocolatey. So chocolatey is a package manager for Windows that makes it much easier to install applications rather than having to go to lots of websites and manually download the exe files. So basically what we need to do first of all is open the PowerShell as admin. And what we then need to do is actually go through these little bits down here. What you need to do is first of all make sure get execution policy is not restricted. So what you do is you run get execution policy, and if it returns restricted, then what you do is you run set execution policy all signed. So I've actually gone through and set this all up, but I'm just going to go through the steps for you. After you've done that, you basically copy this command and paste it into the terminal that's running as admin, and that will install chocolatey. After you've done that, you can then install the packages that we need. So what we're going to be doing is actually installing three things: ffmpeg, cygwin, and MPV. So all you need to do is actually run choco install ffmpeg, run that, and it's going to give you a prompt at the end saying, do you want to allow this to install? Just press capital A to accept all the prompts. We then install cygwin, cygwin, and that's what we're going to be using to actually run the scripts. And finally, we're going to install MPV. So we would then run choco install MPV. So after we've done that, what's going to happen is when we install cygwin, it's going to go through like a little Windows installer, and you click next, next, next. But we actually need to install an extra package to actually get everything working. And the package we need to install is the BC command, and this is actually used to perform calculations on the command line. And we use this in some of the ffmpeg scripts to do some calculations. So what we need to do is we come across to our C drive here, and what we need to do is actually go to the location where cygwin is installed by chocolatey. If you install cygwin manually, it's going to be a different path. I think it's C cygwin or something, but on chocolatey, it's going to install it into C tools cygwin. And after we've installed cygwin, what we need to do is we actually need to come across here to cygwinsetup and double click that and then click yes. And it's actually going to rerun the installer again. So we just come through and we just click next, 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 next. It's going to download everything. We click OK, and we're going to get a new window up here. So what we need to do first of all is come up to View and set Full, like that. So View Full, and we're going to search for BC. So if we search for BC, what you'll see here is I've already got it installed. And the way you install these isn't obvious. What you do is you actually come across to this little box down here and click and then what you do is you select the latest version. So come across, search, go to full, search for BC, select it here, click little drop down, and then select the latest version. And then all you need to do is click next. Now click next again, and it's going to finish up installing. We don't want a desktop icon, so we uncheck that and we click finish. So that's actually getting Cygwin installed and where it installs stuff with chocolatey. So the next thing we actually need to do is add the path here to our environmental variables. So this is basically the path where Windows looks for applications that it can run. So if we come across to the search bar here, and what do we need to do? Search for environmental variables. So yeah, search for environmental variables, and it'll come up and say edit environmental variables for your account. What you'll see down here is these two windows. You see here system variables. What you need to do is come down and click path. So that's selected, then click OK. I thought that's what you did. I think it should come up with a thing saying new, or basically what happened before was I could click it and click new and actually add in that path to the environmental variables, but because I'm doing it as a video demo, it's decided to throw a glitch. So I'm not sure why it's doing that, and I can't select it. So I'm sure that's the right one. That is definitely the right thing. You need to select path, and then you should be able to select new or edit. So why is that not working? Try it one more time, but it does work. What do I need to do, or is it here? Maybe it was this one. Maybe it's not the system one. Maybe it's this one. So let me just click edit. No, that's not it. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure it's this one. You've got to click here. But for some reason, these are dimmed out. Basically, what you do is you click new, and it'll come up with a new window. And what you do is you put in this at the end, c:/tools/cygwin bin. So that's what you do, even though I can't show it to you. So we've set up Cygwin. So what we're actually going to do is set up MPV as well. So what we're going to do is search for app data. So copy that, just come into here and let me paste. No, of course not. So percent app data percent, and what you need to do is open this folder here. And so what this is this is a directory where we're going to put the configuration for MPV. So you should have an MPV directory. If not, create it. And again, this is the actual path here, your users, app data, roaming. So in MPV, what we're going to do is create two text files. Annoyingly on Windows, they don't show the file extension, but this is input.conf and mpv.conf. Input.conf is for keyboard settings, and MPV is for the sort of configuration for the application. So if I double click that, what you'll see here is a very simple config. But the most important thing we actually want to do in this mpv.config file is have ontop. And what that does is that sets MPV to always be displayed on top of other windows, because what happens otherwise is you run MPV from the command line and it will appear behind your other windows. So that's the first thing we want to do, set MPV to be on top. Then we've got OSD fractions, and what that does is that displays milliseconds in the on-screen display for MPV, which is useful for figuring out bits of a video you want to cut, you want to edit, so you can actually go through and basically select a frame by the millisecond. And finally, we've got some stuff here for enabling subtitles. And then in our input.conf, what we've got here is actually key bindings to seek forward and backwards in the video. So we've got Vim key bindings to seek forward and backwards, cycle text, and these bits down here are actually audio filters using ffmpeg to basically have a sort of poor man's equalizer in MPV. So that's MPV set up. So what we need to do now is, after we've got everything set up, is actually download the scripts. So what we're going to do is we can close this now and just come across, go to our downloads folder. So what we're going to do is come across to the scripts page here, and we're actually going to download this as a zip file instead of downloading the scripts with Git. On Windows, what happens with Git is it defaults to using Windows line endings in a text file. And basically what that does is it makes the scripts unrunnable. So if you download the repository with Git, what happens by default is, as I said, it will use Windows line endings for all the scripts and everything will fail. So in Git, you can actually set it up to download repositories with Unix line endings. But to avoid all that hassle and make things easier for you, what you need to do is come across to here where it says code and just do download zip. Okay, that's it. That's the first step. We come across here, and what we now got is this file here, ffmpeg scripts master.zip. So we select it, extract all. Okay, let's just select into the downloads folder and extract it. Okay, so what happens for some reason on Windows is it creates a directory inside the same directory inside there. So we've got ffmpeg scripts master. You go into that. Oh no, it's done it differently this time. What was happening before was it was actually creating a nested folder like ffmpeg scripts master, ffmpeg scripts master, and then the scripts. But all you need to do is just change this to ffmpeg scripts like that. See, we've got all the scripts. And then just copy that to the desktop. So you can see I've already done that step here. So now that we've actually got everything set up, what we're going to do is actually run these scripts. So just get rid of those. And what we're going to do is we're just going to open the PowerShell here. Okay, so another annoying thing that I found is by default on Windows 11, what happens is your desktop folder, your desktop folder is actually under OneDrive. So what you can do is there's a way you actually come across and the options or properties or something. Yeah, okay, that's it. So on Windows 11, what happens by default when you sign in with your Windows account is it actually puts your whole desktop folder into OneDrive. So what you need to do to avoid that, you come across to your desktop, select these three little dots down here and go to properties. You then go to location, and what you'll see is by default it will say something like users, your username, OneDrive, and then desktop. And then what you do is you go restore default, and you'll get some warning saying, make sure to back up any files you've got on your desktop, stuff like that. But you just go restore default, and it will reset this to the normal path for your desktop. So that's just a heads up. So we're going to switch to the desktop, CD desktop. You can see here what we have is that's the note, and what we've got here is the ffmpeg scripts, and we've got a folder here called scene, and we've got a copy of Big Buck Bunny in here. I've renamed that to input.mkv just so I don't have to type out Big Buck Bunny lots of times. So what we're going to do is actually go through and run some of these scripts. So another note is I do have a make file for performing automatic scene detection, but I couldn't get that working. But the scripts for scene detection do work. You just got to run a couple of scripts manually, and I'll take you through that. So what I'm actually going to do is go through some of these scripts. So what I'm going to do first of all is show you scopes. So what I'm going to do is run bash ffmpeg script. So when you're using Cygwin, what you need to do to actually run any script is you need to run bash and then the path to the script. So ffmpeg, we're going to run scopes, and then -h. What that's going to do is actually going to print out the help. So what we've got here is a series of options we can use. So what we're going to be doing is, first of all, we're going to run scopes histogram. So if I run -i, and then what I'm going to do is run the scene folder here, input.mkv. And what you see here is we've got videoscopes coming up, just like you get in a video editor like DaVinci Resolve. So what we're going to do next is we'll do the same thing, but for -o, which is the RGB overlay, scene, input. I'm just going to go through these here. You can see we've got the RGB overlay here. Next, we've got the RGB parade, scene, input. Okay, so you can see we've got, this is the RGB parade showing all the colors in the video. Next, we have the RGB overlay and parade, so -s. Okay, you can see that's another one there. Then we've got the waveform. Okay, so this is showing you in another format. And finally, we've got the vector scope, and the vector scope is useful because it will show you things like skin tone. It's actually got a setting where it will show you if someone's skin is correctly balanced. Basically, I haven't got a clip to show that, so I'm just using Big Buck Bunny, but you'll get the idea when I run it. So here you can see the vector scope here, and it's showing these are all the different colors, and it's showing the intensity. You can see yellowy, green, cyan. Yeah, you get the idea. So that's the vector scope. So let's go through some other scripts, and I'll do the scene detection last because it takes a little while to go through and chop up the video. So what I'll do next is I'm going to trim a clip. So what we've got here is trim clip. So trim clip -h. And what this does is this allows you to trim a video or audio file to the millisecond on the command line. The way that it does it is you give it a start time, an input, and then the -t option is the number of seconds after the start time. So suppose we have a start time at 1 minute and we want to create a 5-minute clip. The end time is not 6 minutes. So you'd think it's 1 minute plus 5 minutes, you put in 6 minutes. It's not, it's the amount of time after the start time. So we want to create a clip for, 5 minutes. The input, the start time is 1 minute, and the -t option is 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is we'll create a small clip. So we're going to run trim clip -s, And what we'll do is we'll start this at 1 minute. So hours, minutes, seconds. 1. We'll give it the input file, scene input, and then the -t option. And this is the amount of time that we want to record a clip for. So we want to create a 30-second clip. So, okay, now you can optionally use the -o option to give it a output file name. But the way these scripts work is that if you don't give it a file name, it will automatically create a file name based on the input file name, and then it will add trimmed and then the date and time. The reason for that is because it then allows you to batch process files using these scripts, so that you can say find all the MP4 files and create a 30-second clip from 1 minute to 1 minute 30. It will go through and it batch processes them all, and they will all have a file name based on the input file name. So I'll press return. You can see it's kicking in. And what you see here is the actual time. So you can see 20 seconds. And when it gets to 30, it's going to stop. Okay. So we then come across to the desktop. And what you can see here is we've now got a new file called input, trimmed, and the date and time. The reason we have the date and time is so that each file has a unique file name, so it doesn't get overwritten. So I can now double click this, and again, this is why we set up MPV with the on top option. So you can see here what we've got is a 30-second clip. If I bring that back to the beginning, and you can see I can also use the HJKL keys to navigate through the video. We've got a nice way of doing that, but you can see this is a bang on 30-second clip, and what you'll notice is MPV is always on top of the other windows. I believe there is a shortcut you can press, I think maybe capital T, stay on top. No, okay. So now you can see there. So I set it to be stay on top by default, so that when you launch the video player, it doesn't start playing behind half a dozen windows. You then got to find it. But if you don't want, if you want to toggle the behavior on and off, you want to actually see, this thing. So it's on top, not literally, but you know what I mean. So press capital T to toggle it off, and then you can select another window and it'll be on top. That will be on top. Okay, so we've got a 30-second clip that we've trimmed. So what we're going to do is actually use that to create a animated GIF and then a animated webp file. And what we'll also do is we'll extract the frame first of all. So let's do this in a haphazard order rather than being organized. So let's go and extract a frame. So what extract a frame does is extract the frame from the video. So all of the scripts, if you run them with the -H option, they'll display the help and give you the options that you need to pass through the script to get it to work. And all of the scripts are written with default options that you can override, so that what this basically means is we have same defaults for the script, so that you don't have to type as much, and also means it's better for batch processing and stuff like that. So what we've got here is extract frame. So extract frame -I, the video file, and then -S and the actual time, and then -O and the output. Simple enough. So extract frame -I scene, and we'll give it the input .mkv, and what we want to do is say extract the frame from 1 minute, so hours, minutes, and again I don't have to give it an output file name. It's going to create one automatically. You can see here input frame. So the other thing is all the scripts, the file names are based on the input file name, the action that's been performed, like frame or trimmed, and the date and time. So the reason for this is because a lot of the scripts will do things like extract images. Okay, so you want to be able to differentiate between which script has been run on which file. So input frame, we know that's the extracted frame. There we go. So we've extracted a frame at 1 minute into the video. Okay, so let's step things up a notch and actually create an animated GIF. So what we're going to do is we'll just rename this so it's easier to type, because as you can see, it's like input dash trim da da da. So we'll call this BBB dash clip. And what we're going to do is we're going to create, first of all, we're going to create a animated GIF from this. So we come down here and what we've got is vid to GIF. So if you want to clear the screen in the Windows terminal, just press Control L and it clears the screen. So what we're going to do, again, we have to start bash and then ffmpeg script and then vid to GIF -H to display the help. I need to actually, okay, so with this script, you can actually specify a start and end time that you want to create a GIF from a larger movie, but it's actually, that takes a long time to do. So it's better to trim the video first and then create the clip, the GIF from it. So just ignore the -S and -T options. We're just going to be using the input, the frame rate, and the width. And I'm just going to accept the defaults for this. So what we're going to do is vid to GIF -I, give it a scene BBB clip. And again, I'm not even going to give it an output. So what's going to happen is it's going to look like it's not doing anything for a while. But that's just ffmpeg running in the background. You can see it's kicked in now. Give it a few seconds. You can see here the time that we were processing a 30-second clip. And I come across here. And what we now got is this here. So we can see, this is what I was sort of saying about the naming convention for the output of the files. We can see here, this was the frame that we extracted, and this is a GIF. And this is all the more important on Windows because for some reason they don't show you file extensions, so you can't see that, okay, that's a PNG, that's a GIF, you know, that's a video. So what we're going to do is just open this up. It's going to open the player here. So this is the Windows player. So this is a 30-second GIF at about 320, I think it is. So that's an animated GIF. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a WebP version. So WebP is I think it was developed by Google, but it's an image format that actually has can be used with, it can have animation in it basically. I think it's used on YouTube quite a lot for the animated thumbnails and that kind of thing. However, what you'll find is that some image viewers won't display WebP files. On Linux, you can use NSXKIV, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using Firefox to preview the file. So what we're going to do is let's get rid of these files we don't need anymore. We don't need those two. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the WebP script. So bash ffmpeg webp -H. Yeah. So these are the options we've got, and what we're going to do is we're just going to go with the defaults. We've got the input, we've got the compression level, quality, the frame rate, the width, and we've got presets. So you've got presets like none, default, picture, photo, drawing, icon, text. and then the optional argument of the out file. So we're just going to run this with the defaults. So -I, scene, BBB clip. So this is the 30-second clip. It's going to kick in and start doing stuff. Okay, so there we go. So now that's created the webp clip. You can see here, oh, it's actually giving it an extension. And what we're going to do is we're going to open this with Firefox. So you can just right click and go open. We're going to open with Firefox. And as you can see there, we've got a webp animated image, animated video. And the advantage of webp over GIF is the file size is much better. You can get a much bigger sort of video here for a much smaller file size. So there's a bit of blocking there, you can see. So you could always adjust the settings, but that's basically creating a animated webp from a video clip. Nice and simple. You can see the virtual machine thing there. Go on, Pizzle. Okay, so we've created the webp. Let's get rid of that and let's go through some of the other scripts. I won't do the chapter scripts. Combine clips is for actually combining sort of like a video file with an audio file. So you could take you can basically swap in a new audio track basically. EBU meter doesn't work. I've tested that. Image to video, what that does is that will actually create a video from an image. So you can actually take an image and actually create a video from it. You know, it's not going to be moving, obviously. It's just there are times where you might want to have an image converted to a video, so you can put it in a video editor, or with ffmpeg you can then concatenate that video image converted to a video amongst other video clips. But we'll ignore that one. We've got the overlay clip and overlay pip. Now what I'll do is I'll go for the waveform. So what the waveform is, it will do is it will create a PNG image of the audio waveform basically. So clear the screen. So don't worry, I'm going to get to the scene detection. I'm building up to it. ffmpeg scripts waveform -h. Create a waveform from an audio video file and save it as a PNG. Give it the input file and the output file optionally. Okay, simple enough. Scene, and we'll just do it with a small clip, BBB clip. Bang, oh, that's it, done. Here you can see here BBB clip waveform. Open that up. You can see if I actually zoom in, that is actually the waveform, but it's just the selection of the clip. You know, the audio wasn't particularly loud, but that's what the waveform script does. We've got ones here, zoom pan, which is for sort of like Ken Burns panning and scanning. I've got X fade, which I'll show you. So what I'm going to do is actually I'll do the X fade, but I want to show you sexagesimal time. So what is sexagesimal time? It's hours, minutes, seconds. Okay, so what we're going to do is run sexagesimal time -h. And what this script basically does is allows you to calculate the duration of a clip. Now, as I explained, ffmpeg works with a start time and an end time. And the end time is the amount of time after the start time. You know, it's the duration. So I'll give you an example. Sexagesimal time start. And what we're going to do is we're going to simulate working out a clip time, clip duration. So we want to say we want to trim a clip from 1 minute 37 to the end time of Let's give it something that's kind of going to baffle our brain to actually, 8 minutes, 52, something like that. So the issue is when you're doing stuff with ffmpeg is that what you got to do is, suppose you want to, the start time and the actual the end time of the clip. So you want to create a clip from 1 minute 37 to 2 minutes, 8 minutes 52. But you can't put 8 minutes 52 in. What you've got to do is you've got to subtract 1 minute 37 from 8 minutes 52 to actually give you the correct duration. Okay, so that's what the correct duration is, 7 minutes 15. So this is basically just so that you can calculate the duration of a clip for scripts like trim clip. So that's hexadecimal time. So what I'm going to do is come across to the scene detect. So what we've got here is a couple of scripts. We've got scene detect, scene cut, and scene time. And on Linux, what I have is a make file for this. So if I just open this up, just open it in Notepad. So what I have on Linux is a make file that you can run that will automate the steps, but I haven't actually been able to get the make file to work on Windows. So we just have to run the 3 scripts manually, but it's not a big deal, and so don't let it put you off. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to run these 3 scripts. The scene detect scripts. So we've got scene detect. So first of all, what we have to do is we run 3 scripts in order: scene detect, then scene time, then scene cut. Scene detect actually detects all the changes in a video based on a threshold, which you can adjust. And what it will do is it'll create a text file with all the scene changes. We then run this other script called scene time, which will convert it into a format we can use with ffmpeg. And finally, we run scene cut, and that's going to cut the whole thing up. So bash ffmpeg scene detect. So scene detect -h. Okay, so what you can do is you can optionally specify a start and an end time, so you can actually perform detection on a range of a video. So suppose you've got a 2-hour video and you want to perform scene detection at 45 minutes to 50 minutes. That's possible. And you can then use this text file it's going to create to automatically go through that video and chop up the video, that section. What we're actually going to do is we're going to do the whole video. So we're going to run scene detect, and what we're going to do is all we need to do is give it the input file. So we've got the start time, we've got the input, the end time, we've got the threshold. So you can actually adjust the threshold, but the default is fine. You can optionally specify the output in seconds, but we're not going to do that. And we're not even going to specify an out file. So all we have to do is ffmpeg scene detect, give it the file, and we're going to give it the input. And what you'll see here is it's actually going to go through, and this is a 10-minute video. So what it's going to go and do is it's going to go through the whole video, and using the threshold, which I think I defaulted to 0.4, it's going to basically go through and create the thing here. So what we've got here is input detection. And what you can see here is on separate lines, we've got the start here, and we've got hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. So you can see this is in hexadecimal format, hours, minutes, and seconds. So you think, great, you can just use that with ffmpeg. No, you can't, because as I said, with ffmpeg, you need create the clips, you need the start time and then the duration. So what we actually have to do is for each one of these, we actually have to do some maths. So what I'm going to do is run the scene time clip, and you'll see what happens and how it automatically formats this into creating clips using start time and a duration. So scene time -h, and basically we just give it an input and output. So this is the input detection, so that's the detection. So what we're going to do is give it the input scene time, and I will give it an output file. So input, and what I'm going to do is call this a cut list. So cut list.text, bang, done. And what you'll see here is actually created it there, but let me put it in. So you want to keep the these files need to be in the same directory as the actual clip you're going to process. So we've got the cut list here, and what you'll see, let me just open this up. So this was the original detection, so you can see start time here, then 11, 15, 23. What you see in the cut list is actually created a CSV file with the start time, comma, and then there. So you can see, for instance, let me show you this next one here that starts at 1575. So 1575, and the next point is 23042. So the actual duration for that is 7.292. Makes sense? So what we're actually doing is we're taking this 1575 and subtracting it from the next line so that it actually comes in this format. Yeah. So what this is this is the start time, the duration for all of the scenes. So now we've got that. All we have to do is run the final script, which is called scene cut, and give it the cut file and the video file. And what it's going to do is it's going to chop it all up. So bash ffmpeg scripts scene cut -h, give it the input and the cut list. -i, so the I is the file we're going to process, which is going to be the input. So scene input, and the cut list is the cut list. Is the this one here, yeah, the cut list. So scene cut list. That's it. So bash path to the script, scene cut -i, path to the video -c, path to the cut list, return. And what you're going to see is now going to start creating all the clips. You can see here input 1, input 2. So the way all the clips are going to be named sequentially based on the file name. So if this was called Big Butt Bunny, it'd be Big Butt Bunny -1, -2, -3, etc., etc. So what this is now doing is it's going through that cut list, looping over each of those lines, going to the start time, and then creating a clip for the duration of the scene. What I also have is another script called what's it called? Clip time. So what clip time does is it takes a text file with start and end times, each on one line. So I showed you trim clip, how you can manually trim a clip, putting the start time, end time. What if you don't want to do scene detection, but you want to create clips, multiple clips from a video, and you don't want to run the trim clip multiple times? You can use this, what's it called again, short-term memory, clip time script. So the clip time script, you can basically put in the start time and end time of lots of clips that you want to create from a video, like 00, start, 3 minutes 20, and then from 4 minutes 30 to 6 minutes 70. You run the script and it will convert all those into the correct format, and then we just run the scene cut script with that text file, and it will go through the video and actually create all the clips that you want. So I'll show you that as well, just for good measure. Now I'm just going to leave this to actually run to show you in real time how long it actually takes to do a 10-minute video. So from memory, there's about 121 scenes in this. I'm going to leave this to actually chunder away, but what you can see here is you can see all the scenes with all the images from all the scenes. What we also have is another script called scene images, and what that can do is that can basically take the scene detection file and go through and create images at the start of each scene, and that's useful if you want to actually have a sort of visual representation of each scene in a video, so that you've actually got a record. So that's another thing. So I'll just leave these chundering away. So again, the chapter add scripts, these are for adding chapters to a video. So basically the way these scripts work is you actually can create a CSV file with time codes in it and the name of the chapter, and it will then basically, once you've got the sort of created the format, what you do is you have this chapter CSV script, and you give it a CSV file with time, the time code of the chapter, like, as 0 is intro, 5 minutes is setting something on fire, 8 minutes is computer exploding, or whatever. And you basically run the chapter CSV script, and then you run the chapter add script and give it a video file, and what it will do is it will go through and add chapters to that video or audio file without actually re-encoding it. So that's quite nice. And then again, we've got the clip time script that I'll show you, which is for basically going through, as I said, and creating multiple clips from a video. Combined clips is for combining either an image and an audio file or a video and an audio file, basically sort of replace an audio file with another one. Correct clip actually will allow you to correct a video clip using a GIMP curve, which is quite mad. So you can actually adjust an image in GIMP and save a sort of like curve file. And I've got another script, and you basically then can apply the changes you've made in GIMP to a video. So you can actually take a frame from a video, color correct it in GIMP, and then apply those settings to the video. Crossfade clips is for like doing a basic crossfade. The EBU meter doesn't work on Windows for some reason. The extract frame I showed you, for extracting a frame, these are sort of like development ones, sort of like fading a clip in and out. Fade title, what that will do is that will actually allow you to add a lower third graphic to a video, and it does it based on the input file name from memory. And then we got the image to video, which is for turning an image into a video. Loud, normal, normalize, those are for sort of normalizing audio. Got overlay clip, and what that does is, you can see this is still chundering away. Overlay clip allows you to insert a clip onto another clip, so you can actually overwrite a section of video of a new clip. Overlay pip is a picture in picture, so you can actually have two videos and put one of them into a picture in picture, in the top left, top right, bottom, have borders, have different size borders, colors on the border, that sort of thing. Scene images was the one I was talking about, where you can take a detection file and actually create a series of images at each scene change. So I'll show you that as well. I show you the scopes, that's the video scopes with the vector scopes, the RGB parade, that sort of thing. The sexagesimal time, and that's for actually calculating the the time. Got subtitles add, so this will take a SRT file and actually add it to a video without re-encoding as a soft sub. It won't bone it in as a hard sub. So it's a soft sub that you can toggle on and off. Oh yeah, tile thumbnails, that's another useful one I need to show you. And what that does is that creates a contact strip of a video with all the with a thumbnail every sort of X number of seconds. So you can kind of use it to create a sort of contact strip showing all the different bits of a video. So I showed you the vid to GIF for creating the GIF, the waveform, the webp, the X-fade. That's really nice. Basically what that does is allows you to add a effect between two clips, a fade. There's loads of different effects you can use, like a wipe from left to right, up to down, that sort of thing. So let's see how this is getting on. So we can see here, this is almost done. Yeah, 123. So again, this was a 10-minute clip that we were performing scene detection on. And so this is actually the end bit, so I know this is actually going to stop in a minute. But I just wanted to go through. Oh, it has stopped. Yeah, well, there you go. Bang on cue. So what you can see here, the original file was called input.mp4, and what we've got is input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see these will all be all the individual scenes precisely. And if you were to concatenate them all together, it would play normally. You can see where the audio left off. You can see there was no glitches or anything. Okay, so let's just go through and find some more the interesting clips. So these are the bit when he's flying. Where's the bit where where the spikes come up? Uh, 102. So you get the picture there. So what I'm going to do is actually run the scene images script. So bash ffmpeg scene images -h. I need to give it the cut list. So the way this works is you do the scene detection with the scene detect script. You then run the scene cut script, and it creates this cut list. So what I'm going to do is use this cut list with this scene images script. So what we need to do is give it scene images, the input. So we need to give it the video it's going to process. So scene input, and then -c in the cut list, scene cut list. And check this one, so hopefully it should all work, but you never know. Okay, has that done its thing? Or did it not do anything? I'm not sure about that. Hang on. That should have worked, but so maybe it didn't. I'll have to look into that one. Is it just not showing the images here? No, that's all the video files. And there's got to be one or two failures when you're doing stuff. to have to look at the. What I'll do is the tile thumbnails script. So bash ffmpeg scripts tile thumbnails -h. Okay, so create an image with thumbnails from a video, and these are the options we've got. Input, seek. So what the seek will do is, by default, I set it to 0.5. So the reason for that is a lot of videos will start fading up from black, and if you have the starting point at 0, what will happen is the first image would be black. Okay, so you can override all these. These have defaults here, but you can override them. So we got the seek time, so you can actually set a start point where you want to start creating the thumbnails from. You've got the thumbnail width, which is 160 by default. We've got the tile format layout, 4:3, padding between the images, 7, default margin, 2, we've got the color black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this with a thumbnail width to 320. So I'm going to give it the input, scene input, and I'm going to give it the -W option for the thumbnail width, so 320. Again, I can specify an output, but I don't have to. So that's going to kick in. It looks like it's hanging, but it's actually going to do stuff. Got to be patient. Okay, so you can see a little output there. So now if I come down here, it should have somewhere down the bottom input tile, as you can see here. So file name is input tile, and you now should be able to understand what I was getting on about. Yeah. So what that's done is it's created a sort of contact strip of thumbnails from the video, and the way it's going to do it is, it's going to depend on how many tiles you've got, on how, you can see here actually, I think that's was showing something else. I don't know how you use this bleeding things. Let me just open it up again. But you see what I mean there. So let me just do that again. I'm just going to delete that one. I'm just going to reset the start time. So I'm going to do the start time as 00, just so you can see what I was talking about with the black. So again, just be patient for a minute. Well, not a minute, a few seconds. Then it'll kick in. There we go. And you can see if I open this now, you can see the first thumbnail frame is black. So that's why I set the default to seek 5 seconds in, but you can adjust that, as I said. So that's the tile thumbnails. So what else can we look at? Let's look at the X fade. So what I'm going to do is actually get rid of a load of these clips. Let me just drag. What I want to do actually is create a fade between 2 clips. I need clips that are relatively long. You know what I mean? It can't be like a 2-second clip. So okay, let's just give it a find something a bit more interesting. Or I may just have to. Let's see, that was a really quick one. Boom. Okay, so let's just, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I'll create some clips, or let me just see if I can find one. Now, all these clips are quite short, so what I'm going to do is I'll just take this out into desktop, and I'm just going to create 2 clips. And this would be a good time to actually show you the clip time script. So let me just open this up again, and we've got the clip time So let me just refresh my memory on how it actually works. So bash ffmpeg scripts clip time -h. So clip time input output. Yeah, that really tells me a lot. I obviously had wasn't too keen on documentation there. So what I'm going to do is actually with Notepad. So let me see if I can Notepad. So I think the clip time, yeah, basically what we do is we give it a start time and end time on separate lines. So what I want to do is create, let's say, 45-second clip. So hours, minutes. So I'm creating a clip from 0 to 45 seconds, and I'm going to create another clip from 2 minutes, 0 to 39. I'm just choosing stuff at random, to 3 minutes. Yeah, let's say 3 minutes, and create another clip from 4 minutes 01 to 4 minutes 32. I'm going to save that as no, we're going to call that clips.text. So right, so we've got the clips. So what we need to do is run this clip time script with this clips thing here. So give it the input. We don't have to give it an output. So clips.text. Or we did have to give it an output, maybe. Okay, so it's obviously set that one so it has to have an output. And what am I doing wrong? Maybe it was I've got to give it the... Let me have a look at the flipping script. I just open it with Notepad. Create ffmpeg cut list. Not sure why this one's not working. There may be some something that's not installed with Cygwin or something, perhaps. But yeah, that should sort of create a file you can actually chop a video with. I'm not quite sure why it's not working. Let me just have a look for it. There's no ffmpeg code, so it's not doing that. So, okay, I have to give that one a miss. So let's do the X fade. So let me just manually create 2 clips. So bash ffmpeg script trim clip start. I'm just going to start this at say 30 seconds, and I want to give it the input file. So input, and I want to create a 30-second clip. So 30-second. Oops. And I'm going to give it an out file of clip1 clip1.mp4. That all looks good. And then what I'll do is I'll create another clip and I'll show you the X-Fade clip and all the options you can actually use. So you can see here as it's going along, which is 30. So I'm just choosing 2 random clips, creating 2 random clips, and I'll create this one at 2 minutes 30 to 3 minutes, I suppose. Hours, minutes, yep. and we'll call that clip out clip 2.mp4. So it's relatively quick going through, but it just depends on the speed of your machine. What did I do there? I was actually seeking through. Yeah, so it's actually got to seek through obviously 2 minutes 30 before it can actually start trimming. So that's why the first one. Oh yeah, because I'm creating. Oh fuck. You know what I did? Created a 3-minute clip. Yeah, what I wanted to do was create a clip at 3 minutes for 30 seconds, not a 3-minute clip. So 3 minutes input to create a 30-second clip, not a 3-minute clip. That's why it's taking a long time. So create a clip at 3 minutes for 30 seconds. And I forgot to give it an output name, but no matter, I'll just rename it. And I'll show you the X-Fade clip. And I'll give a quick recap on all the steps that you need to go through to get everything working. Okay, so we'll just rename that clip 2. Clip 2. So now we'll run the X-Fade script. I haven't tried if this works, but shouldn't be any reason it doesn't. So X-Fade -H. So the way this works is you give it 2 clips, clip A and clip B. So X-Fade -A, clip 1, -B, clip 2. The duration of the transition, the name of the transition, and the offset. And the I think an offset is, I forget. I think it's like adjusting the timing. But what I'll do is I'll do a circle open. So I'm going on X-Fade -A, clip 1, B, clip 2. I'm going to accept the default transition and give it the transition circle. So these are all the transitions that you can actually use. So circle open, and we'll call this. Is that all right? Oh yeah. So it would help if I didn't put the options mangled. Circle open, and we're going to call that circle.mp4. F30. Okay, maybe it's not going to work. Not sure what that error is, but let's see if it actually works or not. Wouldn't be much fun if everything just worked, would it? So this is 2 30-second clips, so that's 60 seconds. So you'll see it's almost ended. So the transition is going to be obviously at 30 seconds. So as you can see, there's a bit of a glitch there. So something obviously went amiss, but there may be some issue with cygwin or something, but it does work on Linux and the Windows subsystem for Linux fine. So we went through all the scripts, pretty much, you know, most of them. We created animated images, created animated webps. Just let's see if I can. Where's the animated webp? Or did I leave them in that directory? There was a tile thumbnail. I think I got rid of the animated images. Where were they? There's gif. Where's the frame tile? Maybe I deleted them or something. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, but you remember what you saw anyway, and here's all the stuff cut up. So that's all the scripts we went through. Went through a lot of these. Didn't do the chapter ad. I haven't done the combined clips. So let's just see if I can get the combined clips to work. So combined clips will swap out the audio basically. So bash ffmpeg scripts combine clips -h, combine an image or video file with an audio clip. Okay, so actually I want an audio clip, so let's take the audio from the second clip. So I should just be able to run ffmpeg on the command line -i clip 2 -vn, that's no video, copy the audio codec, and should be an M4A, so out.m4a if my memory's right. Yep, there we go. So that's so that's the audio. So what we're going to do is take that audio and combine it with clip 1. So we've got clip 1 there. So we're just going to swap out the audio. So combine clips -h. So give it the -i for the video or image and -a for the audio. So clip 1, the audio is out.m4a, and we can also specify an output, or it'll just generate one for us. So combine .mp4 should work. Ah, you bastard. What did I do wrong? Yeah, that's an M4A. That should work. Yeah, that's because I gave it the wrong option here. I gave it -a. Well, at least I know script's going to work. So -a, -i for the video or audio, -a, and -o. We just call it new because it's quicker to type. MP4. And if I open that, you should hear that it's replaced the audio. So here's the original audio. Here's the this is the clip 2 audio, and this is the new one. Yep. So that's an easy way to swap out the audio of a video clip. So what I'll do now is recap over all of this. So first of all, we installed chocolatey. That's the website. You open your PowerShell as admin and you run get execution policy. If it returns restricted, then you run set execution policy, all signed, that bit there. And then the next bit was you basically paste this bit of code into the PowerShell as admin, press return, accept all the prompts and that kind of stuff. You can then install the packages. Again, make sure PowerShell's open as admin. Choco install ffmpeg, Choco install cygwin and mpv. This is the location of the cygwin bin directory, and again, for some reason it wouldn't let me environment. What you do is you come across the path and you need to edit that. And you should just be able to click new, and I don't know why it's not letting me do that. But basically you then append that to the path. Then the next thing we had to do is we had to install BC, which is a command line tool for doing maths, which is needed for some of the scripts. And we did that by running the tool cygwinsetup wasn't it? So the other thing is you'll see you've got this program data directory. If I come across here and go to the options or properties, oh, there's some way you can basically turn on showing this directory. It's not shown by default, but Cygwin is installed in tools, Cygwin, and what we had to do is we ran the cygwinsetup. Remember we went through this. We clicked next, and we got to that big window and we searched for BC, and in the little drop down we selected the latest version and clicked next. And that installed BC, and finally we set up NPV, so copied app data, came across into here. And why are there two search things here? There's one here and one here. Like, is this, I mean, why? And it wouldn't let me paste in there, would it? Oh yeah, it does. So app data folder, and then you'll see NPV. And so create the directory, it doesn't exist, and we create input.conf and npv.conf. Okay, so this was input.conf, and we got the Vim key bindings for seeking, subtitles, and we got the audio filters. I'll check if the audio filters work. And the other thing is we've got the npv.conf here, and the things you want are on top, which can be toggled on and off with capital T, OSD fraction, so it shows milliseconds in the display, and we've got some YouTube subs. And I don't know how you install on Linux. I install Noto color emoji to show font, to show subtitles from Linux videos, because a lot of them use emojis. So let's have a look at see if the okay, so I should be able to press F1. Okay, and what it's going to do is actually give me these options. F1, you can see here, loud norm, dynamic norm, low bass, low treble. So let's see if that actually works. You can see here, they're working. So what happens is the way it works is they toggle on and off. So F2 toggles it on, F2 toggles it off, yeah. F3. Okay, so that also works. And finally, the last thing was we downloaded the ffmpeg script. So again, what you need to do, come across, copy that, it's that in there. And again, the issue with Git on Windows is by default, it defaults to downloading files with a Windows line ending as opposed to Unix line ending. So if you just download the scripts with Git, they won't work unless you set up Git to download stuff using Unix line ending. So basically all you need to do is come across download zip, downloaded, and just come across download, then do you know what I mean, just extract the thing, extract it. Yeah, that's why by default it kind of extracts it inside itself. So just select the downloads folder like that, or desktop, you know what I mean. Extract. Okay, and that's the zip file. We can get rid of the zip file, and then just call this. You can see there all the scripts in there. Just call it whatever you want. just delete that bit there. And of course, you can get rid of the stuff that you don't want, the scripts you don't want, but also you can see here we've got like the license. We've got these are org files for Emacs, so you might not be able to open them. So you can just delete those, and also the README. And you can see here we've got the make file. If I just open that up with Notepad. So this is the make file. So on Linux, what you can do is run. You put this in the same folder as you've got the video, and you just run make input equals and the video you want to perform scene detection on. And what it does is it runs the scene detect script, then it runs the scene time script, and then it runs the scene cut script, one after another. So rather than running the scripts manually, as I showed you, what you can just do is put the make file in the directory, run make input equals whatever the file is, and it will do it automatically. But I couldn't get this to work. I installed make from Cygwin and also chocolatey, but it must be an issue with either the line endings or the way that you have to format make files on Windows, or it's an issue with the actual path. So maybe you actually got to put in the full path to the scripts or something, but I couldn't get that working. So that's the one thing I actually couldn't get working. But that's basically the gist of it. That's how we can do some scene detection. So we've got all the ffmpeg scripts there. We've got the little clips there. And as you can see here, this is the video all chopped up into 123 pieces. And again, we had the animated GIF and the animated webp. We've also got the tile thumbnails. Remember the bit about the black screen, that's why we set the default to 0.5. But you can adjust the start time and end time. And all of these scripts will work being batch processed, so that's why they all have automatic file names created for them if you don't provide one, so that you can actually batch process stuff. So you can say, you know, on Linux you'd use find. Don't know what the equivalent is on Windows. I don't know if you get a find command with cygwin, but if you've got Windows subsystem for Linux installed, which I couldn't get working, you can basically say find all the MP4s and, you know, trim 30-second clips from the start, or you know whatever. So these are all the scripts. I tested quite a few of them. I didn't go through the adding the chapters. So the chapter scripts for adding chapters. The clip timer couldn't get to work for some reason, but you can do it manually with trim clip. We did the combined clips. We extracted a frame, so we extracted the frame from the video. I didn't do the image to video. That basically will allow you to create a clip. So let me see, is this going to... Oh. Why is everybody in fucking media player? Okay, MPV. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to come through here. I'm going to press S on the keyboard, and that saves a screenshot. Should save it to the, you can see MPV screenshot. So what I'll do is I'll just run image to video. So bash ffmpeg scripts ng to video -h. You basically give it a image and then a duration in seconds. So say we want to create a 30-second video, we'll do image to video -i mpv screenshot -d30 out example.mp4. So it'll take a few seconds to wear away. You can see it's kicking in. Done it. So basically, it's just a static video, yeah, but it's 30 seconds long, so it allows you to turn an image into a video so that you could, you know, you can do stuff like concatenate it with other clips. With ffmpeg, you have to concatenate. You can concatenate video clips without re-encoding them, providing they're all the same codec and format and size and that kind of thing. You can't concatenate a video and an image, but you can convert an image into a video and then concatenate it with other clips. So that's what that's for. And then you could, for example, put some audio over that. So what you can do is, if you wanted to, say you got you wanted to upload something that's like a you know, a bit of audio, and you wanted to have like a cover art thing, do you know what I mean, like an LP or something you wanted to upload to YouTube, you can take the image, convert it into a video, and then combine it with an audio track using the combine clips script. So suppose you've got a 3-minute bit of audio, you can convert a image of, you know, an album cover into a 3-minute video clip, and then just combine the audio and video into a new clip. So that was the image to video. I didn't do the overlay pip. I've actually done videos on those. You got pan and scan. That's like a Ken Burns panning up and down. We had the scene cut. We've got the videoscopes. Hexadecimal time font. You know, tile thumbnails, trim clip, vid to GIF waveform. We couldn't get the Xvid clip to work. Maybe I'll have to look into that. But most of the stuff that I wanted to get working was all working. And again, the reason for that was the reason for going through all this was basically because I couldn't get the Windows subsystem for Linux working in this virtual machine. Even though it was the exact same setup I've used previously, it just wouldn't. It wouldn't work every time I enable the Windows virtual machine platform. You do a reboot and it says preparing automatic repair, and it's just basically buggered the VM. So I wanted to find a way of actually getting these scripts to run on Windows, and you can do it with cygwin, and those are all the steps for getting it working. So that's been a bit of a long video, so I'll leave it there for now and put links to everything underneath the video.